What is up, social media? Hanging out. Kind of took a slow day off from the field because there was a storm coming in again, hitting the other coast, and everything got shut down. School got shut down. People got real excited and nervous about it, and thank goodness on our coast, really nothing to speak of. A little bit of rain going on today. Probably could have gone out and done the work that was scheduled, but one of my technicians has been out sick, and it just kind of gave me a day to reschedule and catch up with some of the other stuff that I've been meaning to get to, which one of the big things is finding an employee to work as a part-time helper position underneath my lead technician Kyle. And it's been not really difficult because I haven't put, if I'm honest, a whole lot of effort into it. But more recently, I'm seeing that without having myself almost completely removed from the field, we have busy times and slow times, because you go out, you sell the work. Then if these jobs are bigger jobs that take two people, now I'm out performing the work as well as my full-time technician, Kyle. And so with that in the field work and then in the field outselling, there's always busy and slow times. And my vision for the business is to have multiple employees, multiple full-time technicians out performing work, and then have me out selling and general contracting. So in order to get there, we've got our full-time lead technician who is amazing, and he is developing in a great way, and I see him really being able to essentially run the handyman side of things once we get all those key players in place. But I'm just having a little bit of trouble finding technicians, finding people to apply for the position. I did put a post out on Indeed, which is great. I'm getting a lot of candidates. I've got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 potential candidates, but only one has reached back out to me. I think I've reached out to like 3 or 4 of them, and I've only got a response from one. And I'm trying to set up a time for us to meet today, but I'm not sure if he's going to get back to me in time. And Indeed, in my opinion, is a little bit kind of clunky, and you guys can tell me if I'm doing something wrong, but it seems like Indeed's the middleman. So in order to speak with them, I got to go through Indeed. In order for them to get to me, they've got to go through Indeed, which I just don't necessarily love. And then there's options to call them, but it seems like it's almost like a hotline number that is kind of facilitated by Indeed. So that's not super ideal, but I'm working on doing some Facebook stuff to get the word out locally and see where that goes. But if you guys have any suggestions about that, please let me know. That's, pertaining to the handyman side of things. But I wanted to talk about a little bit of OCD compulsions for a moment, because this is something that I've been dealing with forever, but more recently, as I work through ERP therapy, you start to cut out compulsions. And a lot of the times, we can do ERP where we expose ourselves on purpose to these triggers and deal with them. But when these triggers happen in real life, it's sometimes you can get caught up in them for a little while before you kind of snap out of it. And I'll give an example, which was last night. More recently, I've been having OCD obsessions and worries about injuries. You guys know that I've had multiple knee surgeries. I've been recovering for the last year from a nerve surgery. And that's been, it's been a big worry of mine. It's been something I've prayed about. I've worked really hard to give that worry over to God. But what happens is, little things will trigger me and get me really worried. Like, oh no, like, is that something that's serious? Is that something that I need to have checked out? And last night, I was going to put my daughter to bed, and our dog gets excited when I put her to bed because he likes to come in the room with us and read, and he likes to try to play around at that time. And normally we get out a little bit of energy by roughhousing with him before we start reading. And I wasn't paying attention. I was reaching up to turn the light off, and they were kind of roughhousing, and he bumped into my knee and kind of just twisted my knee. Not even to the point where it caused any trouble, just where I noticed, like, ooh, I don't want to go in that position too much longer. And I pulled back away from them, and it just spiked my fight or flight reaction in it, and it got me completely terrified, as if, I just snapped my leg. Like, that was the physiological response that I got from my dog bumping into my knee in an awkward manner. And, I got a little hyped up, and I said, hey, y'all need to be careful. And I caught myself after doing that, like checking myself more than was really warranted for what just went on. If you're self-aware at all, if you've done something to yourself that's harmful and that's caused an injury. And this was nothing even near close to that. It was just a situation where I said, whoa, I don't want to go in that direction any further. And I really had to center myself quickly, because we were sitting down to read books, and I don't want to portray any of this unnecessary anxiety onto my daughter, because I know she already has a 50% predisposition to having OCD and anxiety because her father does. So I try to be very aware of that, and I try, especially when these triggers come up, not to give them too much attention in front of her. So I had to snap out of it quickly, and I came back in the room, and I said, hey, I'm sorry that I raised my voice. That just scared me. But everything's okay, and let's sit down and read. And that's where it ended. And I was proud of that. And this morning I was happy that I didn't wake up and go through a whole bunch of checking exercises to make sure that I was okay. Because this is a theme that I'm starting to recognize more and more with me, because I feel so good, and I'm gaining all my strength back in all the areas where for years and years I had none. So we know that OCD attacks the things that are important to us, and my physical health is very important to me. And so that's going to open the door for anxiety and OCD to start attacking that. So I've been trying to be super aware of that. I just wanted to kind of give that example for anybody who is dealing with having new themes of OCD pop up as they work through others, because I know that can be particularly difficult because it just feels like a never-ending cycle. But if you apply the same principles that you're doing with your normal compulsions that you're trying to cut out, with these new spikes and triggers, and you're able to be aware enough to recognize what's going on, you can start to work through those as well. So I hope this helps everybody. Like always, like this video so other people can find it. Handymen and women, give me some ideas on how to find the right type of candidates. And people dealing with OCD and anxiety, keep fighting the good fight. It is a worthy goal. And I will tell you something. I'm in a Facebook group for people with OCD, and a lot of times they say, my life is just completely overwhelmed, and I don't see myself ever getting out of this. I can promise you one thing. If you can work through your OCD compulsions, if you can work through ERP therapy, when you get to a point where you're starting to manage it, the world is yours. People with OCD and anxiety that learn to work through it and face the challenges anyway, I believe have a stronger mindset and mentality than people who don't have to deal with that, because they have to go through more to get to the starting point. Not, more than some, less than others, but in order to get to base level, people with OCD and anxiety have to get through a couple more obstacles. Other people will go through other obstacles. This is not to say that this is more or less than anybody else. I'm just giving you guys my experience. Yes, I'm going to get you juice in a second. I'm finishing up with YouTube. My daughter's home from school today because the storm was going to be so bad that they closed school. Say hi to everybody, Camila. Like this video so other people can find it. Leave me a comment. Have a great day.